going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt, the Misfit. This is your Monday Night Raw review for September the 9th, 2024 from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I thought the show was a very, very solid show. We're going to get into it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Please hit that like button, comment down below, hit the subscribe button, youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Follow social medias, Pile Driver Pulse on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram. Then you can go to the audio outlets, which is Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pandora, and Audible.com. Before we get into that stuff here, we're going to go over some sad news, unfortunately. Two sad news. One is not really wrestling related. The other one is wrestling related. We had two deaths today. The first one, I'm going to get this one out of the way, so I don't know much about him. That being a former professional wrestler and one of the dojo chiefs for Pro Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Kuniaki Kobayashi. He passed away at the age of, I believe it was, and I could be wrong here. I want to see if I can have him here. He passed away at the age of 68 from pancreatic cancer. I was confirmed by the family today. So my thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. He's not related to Kenta Kobayashi. He had numerous battles with the character of Tiger Mask, who was once portrayed by Misawa and Sayabi. So, again, rest in peace to Mr. Kobayashi. Don't know much about him other than he was trained by the dojo and he also wrestled. Not wrestled, he was also a chief of the dojo. So there's that. Another sad one we had today, non-wrestling related, that being the sad passing of the legendary James Earl Jones at the age of 93. Lived a great long life. James Earl Jones, known for his many roles, including the roles on Broadway, as well as some of his films that he was in. Of course, he was in. Let me see if I can find some of his most notable films. Obviously, he was in Coming to America, Conan the Barbarian, The Hunt for Red October, The Sandlot. He voiced Mufasa in both the animated and live-action adaptations of The Lion King. He was also in Coming to America 2. He also voiced the one of the greatest movie villains of all time, Darth Vader. The news came out, was broken by Variety, stating that James Earl Jones died at his home in Powling, New York on September 9th, 2024, the age of 93. In a statement, CNN said that James Earl Jones was the voice of CNN and our brand for many decades, because he was uniquely with his speeches and all that stuff here. Jones's alma mater of the State University of Michigan paid tribute to him by posting "We Are Michigan," narrated by Jones on X. MLB also paid tribute to him. The Empire State Building lit up the Empire State Building with with footage of Darth Vader on there. Actors Danny DeVito, William Shatner, and Barry Jenkins, among others, including Mark Hamill, who put out the tweet. that said, R.I.P. Dad. George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, put out his thoughts and prayers. If I can find George Lucas's. I know he said something about it. I gotta find it here. Give me a second. George Lucas said something about. There we go. Let's see what George Lucas had said here. Let's see if I can find here. For nearly half a century, he was Darth Vader, but the secret to all of it was he was a beautiful human being. Said Lucas, he gave depth, all that stuff here. James will be missed by so many of us, friends and fans alike. George Lucas added, Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm president, stated that James Earl Jones is one of the most versatile and talented actors of our time, with iconic bodywork across film, stage, and television. The menacing baritone that he brought to Darth Vader will forever be beloved by fans, regarded as one of the great villainous performances in cinema. His controlling presence on screen and warm personality off screen will be greatly missed. Disney chief executive and current owner of Disney, Bob Iger, credited the incredible mark that James Earl Jones left on generations of audiences, from the gentle wisdom of Mufasa to the menacing threat of Darth Vader. James Earl Jones gave voice to some of the greatest characters in cinema history. A celebrated actor with nearly 200 film and television credits to his name, the stories he brought to life with a unique, commanding presence and true richness of spirit left an incredible mark on generations of audiences, said Bob Iger. On behalf of all of us at Disney, we extend our deepest condolences to his family and loved ones, said Bob Iger. Obviously, I mentioned James Earl Jones' fellow Star Wars actor, Mark Hamill, who portrayed the son of Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. Luke Skywalker wrote on social media, RIP, said hashtag RIP Dad with a broken heart emoji. So yeah, I put out a tweet about James Earl Jones earlier today. When I found that out, I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I came across the thing about James Earl Jones, and I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me!" So I tweeted out, "James Earl Jones is one of the greatest actors of all time, and with the greatest voice of all time. I knew him growing up as the voices of Mufasa and Darth Vader. To me, no one will ever replace that voice. R.I.P. James Earl Jones, hashtag legend." So again, my thoughts and prayers go out to the families of Mr. Kobayashi and the legendary James Earl Jones. We get some news, though. Well, wrestling. Let's go into some wrestling news, because this is what we're here to talk about. No more sappy stuff here. So let's talk about that. We do have. So news was brought into us for. We have 3 matches announced for Bad Blood. First 3 matches announced for Bad Blood. They were kind of very obvious matches. We'll talk about those in just a little bit. But we do know that, if we can find, I don't know if they, okay, I had to make sure, because I wasn't entirely sure on that front. Let's see if we can look up some other things first real quick here. I'm not going to talk about the Vince McMahon documentary, because I don't really give a shit. I will leave the Fox AEW stuff for a Sunday show, so I'm going to keep that up there for now. As far as I know, I can't see anything else there. But the big news that came out of Raw tonight was just randomly thrown in there by Joe Tessitore. And during it was after the Wyatt Sicks street fight, he said that Raw is going to be moving back to 2 hours from October the 7th to the end of the year, which is December the 30th. I think it was December the 30th. Let me see. Yeah, December the 30th. Before they move back to Netflix. Now, Sean Ross Sapp put out on he's currently live with Denise Alcedo for their Raw review, and stated that he asked people back at WWE about whether or not Raw is going to be moving back to 3 hours when they go to Netflix. They didn't get an answer from that. So right now it's unclear whether or not that they're going to go back to 2 hours, or going to go back to 3 hours, or is the 2 hour move permanent? We're going to find out, but I'm very excited. I'm very happy that Raw is going back to 2 hours, at least for the time being, starting next month, because good Lord, I hate the 3 hour format on weekly television. It's fine if it's a pay-per-view, but the 3 hour format does not work on regular television. And I've already seen people on social media complaining about it. The same people who complained about the 3 hour format and complaining about the 2 hour format. Like, who cares? Going back to 2 hours, at least from October to the end of the year. Actually, it would be 3 months then, but for the next 3 months, it's going to go on 2 hours, and I'm very excited to see what happens, how it works. If it works, we'll see. It seems like it's going to be a test run, but I'm very excited to see what happens with that. Monday Night Raw was from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, the home of the legendary Hart Foundation family. We've seen the first hour of the show was commercial free, which opened up with the Wyatt Sicks defeating American Made in an 8-person street fight. This match was a lot of fun. Nikki Cross had her first match since November of 2023. Uncle Howdy did not wrestle on this match. He watched from afar in the rocking chair, and it was Gacy, Rowan, Loomis, and Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross did not wear her mask. There was some great stuff in this match. We've seen table spots from the Wyatts. We've seen the Loomis do his senton from the top rope onto, I think it was either Brutus or Brutus Creed, or it was either Brutus or Julius. But crashing through the table here, we've seen a lot of stuff happen. It was crazy stuff going back and forth here. Joey Gacy gets angle slammed from the top rope through the table. Joe Tessitore's on his game tonight with some of the calls that he had here. And it was just crazy, you know. We've seen Nikki Cross does one of her famous trash can spots where she took the trash can, put it on top of Ivy Niles' head, and starts whacking her with a kendo stick. She looked super happy to have the kendo stick in her hand. She did have some markings on her face. Kind of want to look like still like she was Abby the Witch, because that's where her character is supposed to be. There was some stuff. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. It was they had some type of new stuff into the archive recover stuff, and I'm gonna read that in just a little bit here. But then there was a spot I was not expecting. So Gacy, I believe Gacy was in the ankle lock, and Ivy Niles starts wailing on Gacy with the kendo stick. Looks like she's going to hit Gacy again. Nikki Cross pulls Ivy Nile from underneath the ring, and Nikki Cross goes into the ring. I didn't know what this woman was about to do, and the next thing I know, she does a massive German suplex onto Chad Gable. I was not expecting. I did not have Nikki Cross giving Chad Gable a German suplex on my 2024 bingo card for Bret Pro Wrestling this year. What? So Chad Gable is getting a little too close to Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy getting up here laughing in his face. Rowan fucking just comes out of left field with like a freight train, blasts Gable, hits the claw choke slam onto Gable onto the steel steps. Gable gets hit with a nasty Sister Abigail from Uncle Howdy, and then I believe sets up a frog splash. Well, Dexter Lumis with an assist from Eric Rowan onto Chad Gable for the win, and the Wyatt Sicks get the W. I thought this match was very, very good. I had a lot of fun watching this here. Wyatt Sicks have been killing it. The presentation of the Wyatt Sicks continues to be great. Again, this is all I wanted from the Wyatt. Like, the presentation of the Wyatt Sicks is great. My concern was, well, what happens when the bell rings? And we keep seeing what happens when the bell rings. Well, we saw what happens when the bell rings in that 6-man tag match between the Creeds and Creeds, Chad Gable, Rowan Gacy, and Lumis. And then we saw how Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, would do in the ring with Chad Gable, a regular match. Here we see Nikki Cross wrestle exactly like she would normally wrestle as a member of Sanity. That's all I asked for. Give me your cult leader stuff, but in the ring, give me a professional wrestling matches. That's all I wanted, and that's where we're getting. This is one. As much as I love and miss Bray Wyatt, that was one of the problems a lot of people had with his characters, mainly the Fiend, and also the Funhouse version of him. There is they're grounded to reality. They sell moves. We see Chad Gacy went through our table and sold it. There was a spot where they did the Raven thing, where Raven has the chair set up in the ring, and then somebody gets hit with the drop toe hold. Lumis took to protect the brunt of that, and I almost looked like he fucking got knocked hell out with it. That's what I like, and I'm very glad that they're doing that. So kudos to all parties involved there. What's next with the Wyatt Sicks? Who knows? But there was a new entry into the Wyatt Sicks Kinzuki site on the WWE.com/archive. We covered entry number 8. I believe this is Audrey. I believe that's what it's called. It says, "Even now, the words of the red grow stronger. Whispers like 1,000 voices, screaming in silence, guiding the knife until our hands are one in the same. You speak, we follow, my life for you." And that's what Uncle Howdy was saying at the end of the match as he is posed in the ring here. I don't know what they're going to do with the Wyatt Sicks next. That's an interesting thing here. It seems, I'm hoping, this feud with the Gable and the American Maid is done. Personally, I think Rhea Ripley should win the championship back from Liv Morgan, and then we go on to the Wyatts and whatever their names are, Street Trash, or whoever you want to call them now, the Judgment Day. So we'll see there. Speaking of Street Trash. Not the person who came out into the ring, but Finn Balor came out. Tells Damian Priest that it doesn't have to be this way. Basically, what happens here, Balor challenges Priest to a match here. He accepts here, but it was all ruse as the Judgment Day gets involved here. Rhea Ripley comes out of the ring with her crutches. Dominic grabs it. Rhea beats him down with it. Liv Morgan connects with a chop block onto Rhea's injured leg. And, basically the Judgment Day kind of stand tall on here. But then Jey Uso comes in. That's well people in the chair. And he saves Rhea and Priest, checking on both of them, and that's how that segment ends. So, and then we end up setting up, the end of the match, the end of the show, where we got. By the way, that match with Priest and Balor was made official. So there's that. We got backstage comfort. So throughout the show, Braun Breaker was basically confronting his potential challengers for the Intercontinental Championship. First it was Braun Breaker, and then he went on and won on. Yeah, we'll see that. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair retained the women's tag team titles. This is all right. Cargill and Jade and Bianca delivered the DDT assisted German suplex combination for the win. After the match, kind of looks disappointed here, but later on we see Damage Control Sky Pirates confront the champions. Looks like they're going to be heading over to the Sky Pirates match. I don't care about that match unless Damage Control are winning, because I'm super tired of seeing Damage Control versus Bianca and friends. So there's that. Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett were in the ring to introduce Bret the Hitman Hart. Yes, Bret Hart returned to WWE tonight. The first time in 9 years? 9 or 5 years, whatever it was. This is his first WWE appearance post Vince McMahon. So this is a wild time to be alive here as a wrestling fan here. Barrett asked Bret how good it feels to be back home on Raw. Bret says that it's a place to be, and he says, fuck Bill Goldberg. He didn't say that. He also said, fuck Vince. No, he didn't say that either. Though that would be funny as hell if he did. He said, there's no place. He said, no one took more pride than him being a Canadian champion. It says Canadian champions will take on anyone to prove themselves. He says that he did that. He says he did that to prove that he was the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Gunther's music hits. He makes his way out to the ring here. He says he's about to pour his heart out to one of his childhood heroes, and says that, bro. He says he says everyone watched Bret Hart growing up. He says Bret Hart will always be a close second to his favorite all the time, Bill Goldberg. And good Lord, that fucking cracked me up. This motherfucker. I know for a fact his favorite wrestler is not Bill Goldberg. But just to get on a Bret Hart skin is the funniest shit here. Sami Zayn's music hits. He's got the Johnny. I'm not even gonna. I don't want to try to butcher the last name. I'm not Canadian, nor do I know French. But they did They did pay tribute to the brothers who recently passed away in that car accident, or not car accident. It was a car accident. Which was a nice gesture from WWE, which I love when they do that here. But Zayn tells Gunther he has a lot of nerve standing in Calgary talking to Bret Hart in the manner that he did. Asks Gunther if he thinks this is a joke. Then it says Bret is a Canadian hero, a hero to everyone in Calgary, a hero to an entire generation in the back, and a hero to him. He says, while Gunther may be world heavyweight champion, Bret Hart set the tone for what it means to be a champion. And he says that Gunther ran away as soon as he challenged him for a title match last week. Then tells him to prove that he's the best. He's the best that he is, or whatever. I butchered that incomplete thing. My apologies. He says he challenges Gunther to a world championship match, and Gunther's like, nope. He leaves Bret Hart basically calling him a phony. Calling that big bitch Bill Goldberg a phony. And so all that stuff, they start beating each other up here. I'm assuming this is going to be taking place at Bad Blood as well. Gunther and Sami Zayn for the world championship. We go so we went back to the Braun Breaker thing this time with Pete Dunne. Then Sheamus blindsides Pete Dunne with an attack, and that sets up stuff there. Dragon Lee lost to Dominic Mysterio. This was all right though, but Dominic dials up 619 after a distraction from Liv Morgan. Lee then follows up with a frog splash for the win here. It was all right. Get Dominic a win here. Whatever. It's fine. I talked about the damage control stuff here. You know, Kyrie showing off her battle scars from last week after oh god, that was disgusting. She didn't with eye patch, which is, I was a little disappointed though, but there's that. Probably the worst thing on the entire show, the Pure Ass Collection, the Pure Trash Collective, lost to Lyra Valkyria, Selena Vega, and Natalya. Natalya, unfortunately, did not get a home welcome reaction from Calgary. I did like the end though, where Natalya had her terrible fucking sharpshooter on Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. Deville and Baszler tried to prevent Lyra Valkyria put on a Boston Crab, which was, if you know anything about Calgary and Canada, that's Lance Storm's submission maneuver, and then Selena Vega had the Walls of Jericho on the other hand. So I thought that was a nice touch there, but Natalya still has one of the worst fucking sharpshooters I've ever seen in my life here. We hear from Drew McIntyre next, who's gloating about him beating the shit out of CM Punk last week. But he gets into the face of Wade Barrett saying, why, after all these years, why last week did you stop me from beating the shit out of CM Punk more? You know, he's going to be saying all this stuff. He says, like, next time, I'm not going to be so nice and whatnot. Adam Pearce comes out and says, listen, get your ass in the ring. I have something to tell you. Drew McIntyre is like, what? What do you got to tell me? That's so fucking important, basically. He said, I talked to CM Punk. CM Punk's not done with you, and it will be you and CM Punk at Bad Blood in Atlanta. And he says, this is going to end because it's going to end inside Hell in a Cell. So there's your third match announced. This is going to be your main event for Bad Blood. Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell. I'm so glad. I'm so happy that Triple H is going back to the old ways of Hell in a Cell. That's some great stuff. We might get blood. Who knows? I do know that after this match was made official, Punk posted up on Instagram on his bloody face from Revolution last year. No, actually 2 years ago. Where he and MJF had the dog collar match. So I thought it was pretty cool there. So there's that. Finn Balor, Rey Mysterio landed a disqualification as Balor refused to let go of the half Boston Crab within the ring ropes. And then after the match, Balor sends Rey crashing into the ring post, leads to head back to the back, runs back to give the shotgun drop kick into the ring ring apron, with the screen featuring Raw on it basically here, and that's how that works out here. Finally, Braun Breaker and Ilya Dragunov and Jey Uso, they do have all that stuff there. The main event, which I thought was a lot of fun here. My favorite part of this entire match, though. So, I gotta find it here. I have it written down here. But Strowman is getting ready to deliver the Strowman Express. He takes care of Dragunov, Dune, and Jey Uso on the outside. Sends Dunn crashing to the barricade near the Team Timekeepers area, clears the announce desk, and out of the fucking blue, he came from like out of left field. I didn't see this man flying out anywhere. Bronson Reed hits a tsunami splash onto the announce table, taking it out here, and Braun Strowman is out of the occasion for the rest of the match. We go back to the ring. Jey Uso and Dragunov, they start going off here. Pete Dunne sets up for the bitter end. Dragunov escapes. I want to see a one-on-one match between Dragunov and Pete Dunne down the road. That'd be amazing. Like I said, Dragunov escapes, lands a power bomb onto Pete Dunne, follows it up with an H-bomb, goes for the pin, but Jey Uso breaks up the fall. Jey Uso then hits the Uso splash on Pete Dunne for the win, and Jey Uso is getting the double contenders shot against Braun Breaker, possibly at Bad Blood. After the match, Jey Uso celebrates with the Calgary crowd, and then Braun Breaker appears and stare down, holding up the championship, the Intercontinental Championship, as the show goes off the air. There was nothing. The one thing that was actually, I believe, set up for next week was the New Day is going to challenge JD McDonough and Finn Balor for the World Tag Team titles. I do think that's funny that the jab that Joe Tessitore basically threw at them for not defending their tag team titles, which I thought was pretty funny. And a boring ass announcer would have said nothing and just ignored it completely, but that was pretty good here. But overall, I thought Raw was a solid 8 out of 10 show. Solid Raw. So I'm very excited to see what they're gonna do next year. So we are gonna see we're gonna see what happens. What's next? Who knows? So we're gonna see here. There was one thing I didn't mention on the show was the Miz and Kofi Kingston and shit like that. I did not give a shit about that at all. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. They're not gonna. Okay. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I just found out that the new Blood 14 is not even going to be on YouTube. They're going back to fucking Stardom World with that shit. Whatever. Anyways, so tomorrow night there was some news here. So tomorrow night's NXT. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing here for tomorrow, but I do know that it's not, the Rascals are no longer going to be able to compete in the NXT Tag Team title match, so it's now the Street Profits for some weird reason. They kind of tease maybe Omos is going to get paid off by Tony D'Angelo to take care of Obafemi. Maybe it might be Omos, who knows. We got the last man standing match to determine who's going to face Ethan Page in Chicago. Trick Williams, Pete Dunne, we'll see there. And then what I'm going to assume is going to main event the show tomorrow, the in-ring debut of Julia, who's going to murder for Chelsea Green. So, yeah, but other than that, that's all I got for you this week. I will see you guys maybe back here for Raw tomorrow, for NXT tomorrow, maybe. We'll see. If not, I'll see you guys back here for SmackDown, because we got the first SmackDown on the USA Network, where the main event that shows to be Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship against Soulless Go inside a steel cage match. Not that anybody asked to see that match, but it's going to happen. So, yeah. Until then, I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. We're out.